Hi guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Samara if you're new. Today we're going to be continuing the folklore series. And this look today is inspired by mermaids. So this video is going to be about legends and mythical creatures of the oceans from around the world. If you guys enjoy videos like this, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell and comment down below some more videos that you would like to see me do. As always, the links that I'm going to be reading from are going to be linked in the description below. Also, if you guys are not following my Instagram and my makeup Instagram page, I suggest you go follow it. It's linked down below, and I'm also going to be linking it on the screen as well. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so the first sea creature is the kraken, sea monster, and the giant squids. The terrifying kraken was first mentioned by a Norwegian king in 1180 CE. Many tales of the kraken surfaced subsequently in the accounts of seafarers and pirates across the oceans, although the creature seems to have been based in the seas around Norway and Iceland. It was described as a crab-like sea monster with either tentacles or arms that could reach up to the topmasts of sailing ships, and its gigantic body was sometimes mistaken for an island. This mythical sea monster aggressively attacks ships and either crushed them, capsized them, or pulled them down into the depths of the sea. Sailors were plucked from their ships during a voyage and eaten or just left to drown. Over the time, the kraken took on a more squid or octopus-like appearance. In some descriptions, this sea monster has 10 arms and in others 8. In reality, both of these creatures have 8 arms with suckers, and the squid has an additional 2 tentacles, which may account for the difference. It is thought that the Norwegians saw bits of carcasses from dead specimens of these giant sea monsters washed up on their shores. From there, the legend spread. They were alternatively seen as both good and bad, messages from God or messages from the devil. The famous author Jules Verne did not know when he wrote his science fiction novel 22,000 Leagues Under the Sea that the giant squid portrayed in his famous novel was in fact a real sea monster. The reality of it was confirmed when Japanese scientists photographed a live specimen of this sea monster in 2004. They subsequently managed to capture one and bring it to the surface. Scientists have discovered many interesting facts about the giant squid. Like a living jet engine, this true sea monster propels itself forward by blasting sucked-in water out through a rear funnel. The females can grow up to an enormous size, over 50 feet or over 15 meters, and the males are just a little shorter at around 32 feet or over 10 meters. Their eyes are up to 10 inches, 25.4 centimeters, in circumference, which allows them to see in the depths of the ocean where they live. One can imagine what a fearful sight such a sea monster would be for already superstitious sailors, and thus legends of creatures crushing flimsy wooden ships and feasting on sailors went from seaside taverns to urban communities, growing in size as they spread. Tea break. This is my Sagittarius cup from Williams Sonoma, and I love it. And the tea that I'm drinking is Christmas in Paris. I know it's literally July, but it's one of my favorite teas. It's like lavender, peppermint, and chocolate, and it's so good. Okay, now let's talk about mermaids, but mermaids are not what you think. So, thus starts the German poem Die Lorelei by Henrik Heine. He muses that he does not understand why the old tale keeps circling in his mind. The tale of a beautiful maiden on a rock in the Rhine River, combing her golden hair with a golden comb, and luring sailors with her enticing and irresistible song to wreck their ships on the rocks. Although Lorelei is not portrayed with a fishtail nor shown living in an ocean, her story describes the quintessential mermaid. The story reminds us of Odysseus and the Sirens, and other similar folk tales in many countries that talk of mermaids luring sailors to their deaths. Not a typical sea monster in the looks, the mermaid is a sea monster in behavior. Through folk tales, plays, children's storybooks, and Hollywood movies, mermaids have played on our imagination even in this century as a water spirit, a water nymph, a sea monster, or a malicious water god with a human upper body and a fishy tail. One famous example comes from an Animal Planet documentary from 2012/2013, in which producers claimed to have found proof of a real mermaid. It was so convincing that the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in the USA felt obliged to issue an official statement denying the existence of merfolk. Because of the myth of merpeople is so widespread, people have tried to come up with several explanations for these visions. The most sensible so far is that a drunken sailor or beachcomber might easily mistake a manatee surfing the waves or catching its breath while rising from the water for a fish-tailed human. Manatees have to come up for air around every 20 minutes or less. Most of us, though, accept merfolk as just a jolly good tale. Now it's time for the Greek mythology's sea monster Scylla. The Scylla was not always a sea monster. She was a water nymph and the daughter of Ceto, the ultimate sea monster. And Paucis, sorry, in Greek mythology. Odysseus, the legendary hero who instigated the Greek victory through his clever plan involving the Trojan horse after 10 years of battle in the Trojan War, had to get past this giant creature on his way home to Ithaca. Homer uses the sea monster Scylla and her equally evil neighbor Charybdis to illustrate the dilemma of choosing the lesser of two evils. Later, Roman authors of Greek mythology, such as Ovid, describe Scylla as a beautiful woman who had the misfortune of attracting the attention of a sea god called Glaucus. Right? Glaucus asked a Greek witch, Circe, for a love potion to get Scylla to fall in love with him. In revenge, Circe, who was herself in love with Glaucus, turned Scylla into a hideous monster. As with all Greek myths, there are several versions of Scylla's story, and in some, her parents were Titans, and Glaucus was a fisherman. In other versions, the jealous competitor is none other than the wife of Poseidon, the Greek god of the sea. Next, we have the Flying Dutchman. Sailors of sailing ships were rather superstitious according to legend, and always on the lookout for sea monsters. The famous Hunt Lennox globe quaintly identifies unknown seas with the words, "Here be dragons." On the other hand, they must have been very brave to sail in their frail vessels on the vast, open, and unexplored oceans, often for lengthy periods without sight of land. A little rum would often give them courage through the lonely hours of the night and could easily interfere with sight and logic. The legend of the Flying Dutchman is the story of a ghost ship under full sail racing through a raging storm. The story goes that a captain of a trade ship of the Dutch East India Company was returning from a successful trading mission to India. A fearful storm crossed his path as he was rounding the Cape of Good Hope. His sailors begged him to seek shelter by returning to port, but he was in a hurry to get back to Amsterdam to earn more money. He blasphemed and swore that he would finish the journey, even if it took until doomsday. The devil or an angel heard his word and challenged him to try or else sail the oceans forever. The ship was lost in the storm, with the captain and his crew condemned to sail the oceans for eternity. Like most legends, there are a few different details to the story in various versions. Sailors believed that the sighting of this ghost ship would often lead to impending disaster, and sailors were petrified of seeing it until as late as the previous century. Modern explanations of the sighting include ghostly reflections known as fata morgana in the right atmospheric conditions. We have a special guest. This is Miss Bell. Say hi. She is here to, as in Trinidad we say Mako. She's here to Mako. The next mythical creature that we have is the Leviathan. Most people know of the Leviathan from several biblical references. It was known as a gigantic and horrific serpent-like monster in oral Hebrew literature and Old and Middle Eastern mythology. According to the Book of Enoch, The Leviathan was a female sea monster consigned to the oceans, while her male counterpart, the behemoth, was assigned to the wilderness east of Eden. In the Book of Psalms from the Bible, the Leviathan is a sea monster with multiple heads. In one vision of the Leviathan myth, the creature was an angel serving under the archangel Uriel. When Satan rebelled and challenged authority in heaven, Leviathan joined him and was thus banished from heaven with Satan. He changed into a hideous sea monster whose enormous gaping mouth can serve as a gateway to hell. Let's talk about some of the real sea monsters that were existent and maybe do exist at this present moment right now. The Megalodon. The Megalodon was definitely a real shark, not an underwater myth, and its continued existence is one of the most commonly perpetuated myths of the aquatic realm. Because sharks are elasmobranchid. Oh, I said that right. Elasmobranchs with skeletons made of entirely cartilage. Very little of them remains in the fossil records, save their teeth. And Megalodon's gigantic teeth have been found around the world, measuring over 18 centimeters in length. Let's just talk about the ocean for a little bit. The mysterious depths of our vast oceans harbor exciting and scary secrets and wonders just because we cannot see under the water. We've literally only discovered 5%, explored 5% of the oceans, so 95% of the world's oceans are unexplored. And we don't know what's down there. That's why the oceans are such a fascinating topic. And also, NASA used to explore the oceans. Why don't they explore them anymore? There's a lot of conspiracy theories about that. If you want to research that topic, it's a very interesting and intriguing topic to research. I think the ocean, maybe just because I'm from an island, I guess, or I grew up on an island, it's just like part of who I am. Like, I just love the beach, I love the ocean. So it's like I have this very strong connection with it. And these myths and legends and like actual sea creatures are very intriguing to me. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and check out the links in my description because they hold a lot of very nice things. My cats have an Instagram page. If you would like to go see more of my cats, please go follow. They're all linked in my description. And the articles that I've used for this video will also be linked down there as well. I hope you guys have a good day or night, and remember, you are always loved.